Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione round 6 of the Taco Tuesday series in the Pro category. Takes us to Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia. I'm Tom Kent in the contrary position, providing you with all the details for tonight's action. We are currently in the final quarter of an hour of practice. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying to follow, as well as a 90-minute race that will include 2 mandatory pit stops for each driver. A lot of action potentially coming up, so you do not want to go anywhere from here on in. Seeing some drivers on track getting their final set of laps in before qualifying begins. It's a long lap, is this Mount Panorama track. Very challenging one, but that's why the fans tend to tune in for action at this historic circuit. First opened in 1938, FIA Grade 3. Plays host to the, or will be playing host to the TC World Tour Series this year. Plays host to supercars as well. This track is 3.8 miles long, 23 turns in total. Seen, is that Ben Milden has just gone to the top? Let's have a look. I think it is, you know, although Will Freeman's in the pits. Damien van der Wal up there in 4th place. He had a brilliant outing last week at Silverstone, which goes on to my little summary of it. Bruno Canavera took his first win of the season, ahead of Mauro Arsenio, harassing him to the flag. That was 0.7 of a second. Crossed over the line for the final time, with Melvin Crows, otherwise known as MGK, rounding out the podium. Certainly closed up the championship because Sean Cull didn't have the best of races, and with Almid Al-Dori coming home in a respectable 7th place. May not felt like a victory to him given where he finished, but it certainly made things a lot more interesting in the championship now. Only 1 point separating the top 2 in Sean Cull's favour. Melvin Crows in 3rd place, a further 6 points adrift, with Mario Arsenio in 4th place, 11 points off the top. Nikola Busov in 5th, 23 points off the top. Bruno Canavera's win has moved him up to 6th place. He's now on 121 points. Definitely looks like the championship is going down to the wire. In case you want to know what the point system is, well, it's well, before I go into the finishing results, you get 2 points for setting the fastest up of the race. You get 40 points for a race win, and it's 38 for second, and it's a 2-point difference between each position in the top 11, and then from 11th position downwards, it's a point difference for each position. In terms of how many drivers we have got racing for tonight, we should have 23 full-time drivers plus a reserve. That reserve driver we expect to see Moggs making his way into the server very shortly. We're into the second half of the season now. This is round 6 out of 10. After Bathurst, we go to Nürburgring in Germany, followed by Misano on June the 6th, Zandvoort the following week, and the season finale will be on June the 20th in Kyalami, just outside the city of Johannesburg in South Africa. Fastest time in the practice session so far goes to Ben Milden with a 2 minutes 3.2. Some of these drivers will have experience of this rather recently in the SA28 Team Endurance Series. Didn't prove to be a happy hunting ground for some. It was a very, very good victory for the French Connection team, with Will Freeman and Craig Law in the team, both of which are, although one of them is competing, I should say. Don't think Craig Law is around this evening, as far as I know, but Will Freeman is definitely around, and he's putting in some quality pace. He had a nightmare last week at Silverstone with Will Freeman. He was at the back for a lot of the race and just retired soon after. Had the best of seasons so far, I don't think, as Freeman. He's currently sitting find him on the championship list. Go quite a bit down to find him. He's currently 21st with 32 points. Although, actually, thinking of it, he was actually given the points, but I think that would have been because he wasn't able to get to the Czechoslovakia because of connection issues. And if you are unable to rejoin the lobby or server, if you want to call it that, following a connection loss, you may still be given the points via steward's discretion. I think that's what happened with Will Freeman, Adam Anderson, and the other driver that has been given 25th position, which was Fernando Ferreira, otherwise known as Rui. But going back to what I was saying about Will Freeman, his best result has been 12th, second round of the season at Suzuka. Pace so far in this practice session here in Bathurst. He's got a golden opportunity to claw some of that back, start making his way up the order again. I'll tell you that Morix is out on track. He's yet to get a time on the board. 152 coming around, which is Cameron Blair. He may be able to take us on a lap, so we'll go on board with him. Let's have a look if we can long and get to him in time. Ben Milden in the pits. Coming round, well, the nearest driver that's coming round to the last turn. I mean, Morix is coming round in the 99 Audi, just going past Lewis Robinson. Joe Robinson was on the lap. But anyway, we'll stay with Morix because he's about to take us on a lap. He's just exited the pit lane, so this is an opportunity to see how he gets on with this lap, and we'll use him as a guide to take us around this 6.2 kilometre Mount Panorama racetrack. So coming out of the last turn in second gear, important to get a good exit even on a straight as short as this. It's quite an undulating pit straight. Then you brake in a straight line down to second gear, 100 kilometres an hour at the apex, and then you use the curb on the exit for the long back straight. Now it's the mountain straight. Go up the hill, not needing to worry about braking just yet. Underneath the bridge, down again, and now this is Quarry's Bend, that they are, or Griffin's Bend as they are, as he's about to take us through. Third gear, 140 kilometres an hour, using all the curb on the exit, then positioning the car to the outside for this tricky left-hander, and then the next braking point, which is known as the cut-in, and up through Griffin's Mount. Oh, and he's taken us a little bit on a collision course. He's hit the wall, but we'll stay with him for now as he takes us through the hollow, then through McPhillips Park. It's a very tricky section that's caught out many drivers in the past. Then through Skyline, through the S's, and then eventually he'll come towards the Dipper. See why it's called the Dipper. And then eventually we'll brake for the left-hander or Forest Elbow, first gear. Just under 80 kilometres an hour before you apply the throttle again. Don't get too much wheel spin on the exit. And now you come to the Conrod straight. Long straight, this one with a kink included. Just make sure you don't turn in too late. Using the extra tarmac on the outside to nail the apex. Now this is the chase. How does he tackle this one here? It's down to second gear, 115 kilometres an hour. Because he hit the wall, the lap time's been invalidated, but that's nothing to worry about for now. He'll give it another go. Into the last corner, which is Murray's. 100 kilometres an hour before he applies the throttle on the exit, crosses over the line, and that's a lap of the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst, Australia. Thank you to Morrow for taking us a lap round there, even though he didn't intend to. We just used him as a guide anyway. Got just over 5 minutes remaining. Still Ben Milden setting the pace with Will Freeman second, and it's the championship leader Sean Cull in third place, Damien van der Waal fourth. That result for Van der Waal had moved him up nicely in the standings. He's 8th now. Got Robinson in P7 in the standings, tied on points with him actually. I actually thought it should be Damien van der Waal ahead of him on countback and not Robinson. Never mind, but we've still got 5 rounds to go, so hopefully they won't be tied on points by the end of the season. 20 degrees air temperature, 27 degrees track temperature at the moment. Just looking to see what the actual weather is expected to be. To find what the it's going to be like for days. Actually, I've just found it now actually. So it's a 2 PM start for practice, 4 PM start for qualifying, and the race is going to be 5 PM. Now remember, the multiplier is by times 2, so 3 hours after the race starts, or round about when the race starts, we'll see the checker flag rather than around about 6:30. In terms of real time tonight, qualifying will be underway in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. The race should begin after qualifying. It's 15 minutes of qualifying, but with the timing of the interval, the length of the formation lap, I'd probably say we're going to be underway at round about time currently. Should be underway just before 9 o'clock tonight. "23 drivers in the lobby. Have just joined us, we do welcome you to the chat. Let us know how you've been getting on in terms of life, how your racing's going. Well, I've been told Will Freeman's using a McLaren tonight. Hard choice, he's using the McLaren. I think that's the car he's been in all season as far as I remember, but I may well be wrong. He's down to 3rd now because Nikola Busov has gone to the top, displacing Milden by only 0.04 of a second. At the weather for the race as well, we should be expecting sunshine, no rain expected. On the lap at the moment. Well, Robinson is on track now. We'll go to Babizzle because he's coming towards the end of the lap. He is on 1.2 seconds off the pace in the Audi. Seconds remaining of practice. Babizzle will have time to cross over the line and do another lap going into the pits. So that is his practice session done. Just not out on circuit yet, so his first mileage for tonight is going to have to be in qualifying. Freeman on a lap from the Park. Skyline and the SSE comes. Boris elbow, and the checker flag is out now, so anyone on a fast lap can complete it. Freeman has control there, and he bows out of it, or backs out of it, and decides to end his session there. There is Small Hand. Small Hand, number 420 BMW. Blakely Townsend. American. He's not having the best of seasons so far. I don't think he's been awarded any points. Whatever reason. To know why that is. I don't know whether it's because he's a reserve driver or whether he's points discounted for some reason. I think that's something of which someone could answer for me if they can. Going over the line now is Small Hand. Is he going to up the order with this time? He goes to the top. So he was able to find time on that lap alone, and he's gone to the top. Very well done to Small Hand. GK coming back into the pits. There is Jason Sargent in the number 7 BMW. Let's see whether he actually improved that time or not. You have a look on the timetable to see where he ended up by the end of that. He ended up 13th overall, so that was a good effort at the practice there for him. Qualifying is underway now, though. 23 drivers in the lobby, raring to go. He's going to get pole position here in Mount Panorama. There's no points, of course, for pole. How many of the cars are going to go out right this second? If I was them, I would go out now. Probably know that the first laps are not going to be their best ones. Just keeping that momentum going throughout the course of the 15 minutes. Important to keep the car out of the walls as well. Down the Conrod straight comes. And we have got 17 of the 23 drivers on track. We've got the 152 going round. That is Cameron Blair, and he's gone back into the pit lane. Presumably he's damaged the car whilst on the outlap. Blair. Not Blair, Busov coming through to start his lap now. To Hell's Corner. Car in front of Busov, that is Will Freeman, who's just come out of the pits. Okay for now though. There's a bit of a gap between him and Freeman. Freeman won't want to get out of the way because there's plenty of cars that have just started flying laps, and he's not on a flying lap as we speak. Busov. The number 95 Audi, 5th in the championship overall. 5 races to go. Race winner in Snetterton. We've had 5 different race winners as well from the first 5 races. Dominic Vodka won the first race at Laguna Seca, but he came in as a reserve. That's Azuka. Victory that day. And to Sean Cull. Hungarian Melvin Crows came out on top. Nicholas Nicola Busov took victory, and convincingly so. And last week, it was Bruno Canavera came away with the spoils. The highest driver to have not won a race yet this season is Ahmed Al-Dori. He's picked up a second and 2 third places. Which contributed to where he is currently sitting in the standings overall. Here's Nicola Busov then to post the first time of this qualifying session. It's a 2 minutes 2.9. Now what about those behind? Hutchison only going second, over a second off the pace. And we've got Ben Milden going to the top, only by 600ths though. This is Eisteer coming over the line now, only 4th fastest. Got more drivers heading over the line as we speak. Cameron McCoskey's gone over the line. He's down to 4th place because Lewis Robinson has displaced him. We've got Al-Dori going up to 3rd now in the number 15 Mercedes AMG. There's a group of cars heading over the line too. And at the moment, Nils has gone 4th, so Robinson down to 5th place. Got the 433 heading over the line, that is Demian van der Waal, and he goes up to P4 too. 420 coming over the line now, Smallhand, the fastest driver in practice. And he's only in 5th position for the time being at least. MGK not getting a lap on the board on this occasion. 152 of Cameron Blair next, who's still yet to get a time on the board actually, because he was one of those that, well, he did go out straight away but then crashed on his way up the hill. 34 of Farklov Papizel coming through the chase. Behind him is the number 16 of Andy Craven. Goes Papizel. Getting a lap on this occasion. Saying therefore Andy behind. There's Ben Milden looking to keep hold of his position at the head of the pack. Busov 2nd, Al-Dori 3rd. Both drivers within, well, they were within a tenth of the leader, but not anymore because Nicola Busov has gone to the top. Ben Milden, can he respond and go back to the top? He can! 3.5 tenths faster than what Busov had posted just a moment ago. That's going to leave Ahmed Al-Dori with a lot to do from there. He's just about to finish the lap, but he's stuck behind. Lewis Robinson is just about to finish his lap too. Robinson goes, where does he end up? He didn't go up the order. Al-Dori has managed to close down the gap, but stays in P3. Demian van der Waal coming towards Murray's now. Number 57 crossing over the line. That is Fireblade, is just starting a lap. Freeman, or van der Waal I should say, stays in P7. 420 next behind. Smallhand goes 6th. His latest attempt. And the number 23 of Melvin Crow's coming through in the Ferrari, and he's gone up to 5th position. What about further behind? We've got the 152 coming through now. That will be Cameron Blair, and he's only 16th. The slowest of all the drivers to have set a lap time up to this point. Papizel, one of 6 drivers, or 7 drivers I should say, yet to post a time. My name is 99 of Mauro Arsenio. He's one of those to look out for in the battle for pole position. Papizel goes 15th fastest. Moritz goes 5th. So Moritz is right in the action there. And behind him, that was behind him. That would have been the number 4. Was it the 433 of Demian? No, it can't be the 433 of Demian van der Waal. Surely not. By the way, Sean Cole's gone up to P2 further back. So Sean Cole doing really well. Number 444 Mercedes AMG. Fireblade in the number 57 McLaren is on the Conrod straight. 6.5 minutes remaining. Time does reach 0, and there is a driver on a flying lap, or if you are on a flying lap, you can complete it. Fireblade is coming through now. He had a good race last week at Silverstone, better than expected. See how he gets on with this lap time here. I think this is his first lap time he's about to post, and he's invalidated on this lap because it hasn't registered what time it actually was. So no time so far for him. Number 420 moving up the order though, I think. Smallhand is still in 10th position. Going back to what I was saying about Fireblade, last week at Silverstone, Fireblade in the number 57 McLaren, he was able to move up to 14th in the standings. That's Mark Bagnall. He came home in 9th position at Silverstone, which is a remarkable achievement. Dory and Makovsky's time are identical to the nearest thousandth of a second, but it's Eldori who is ahead of Makovsky at this moment in time. And there's Nils van Lyck. 5 minutes to go. He's in P6. And Cole goes to the top, into the 2-minute ones. So 2-minute 1.9. Nils is down to 7th now, because Moritz has moved up to P4. MGK a whole second off the pace to the fastest man in qualifying so far. Number 5 hitting over the line, that is Ben Milden. Was he able to improve on his lap? He didn't improve. MGK should improve on this lap, and he doesn't either. Hutchison only 14th, as he's just gone over the line. 174 of Bukowski. He doesn't move up the order either. Jason Sargent, who's over 2 seconds off the pace in 17th position, gets himself. Does he move up the order? He does not. Fireblade coming through next. And he goes up to 18th place. Just got 3 drivers who have yet to post a lap time. Adam Anderson is the furthest round on the circuit. Sean Cole, a quarter of a second clear of everyone else. .420 of Smallhand. Hasn't gone up the order yet. 46 of Bruno Canavera. And he goes up to P3. That's a great lap time there from Bruno. Anderson, though, is coming through. He needs to get a time on the board now, really, to throw himself into the mix at least. Hasn't got a time yet, so he's got 2 more attempts to get something registered. Moritz goes up to P5. Well, he improved his time, but stays in P5 with his latest lap. 161 of Ice Dude coming through, and this lap of his is only good enough for 16th. He found a lot of time on that one. It's only good enough for 16th. And Ben Milden's closed the gap between him and Sean Cole. 0.08 of a second. Got 2 more attempts at this. Okay, going up to P4 too. 174 of Makovsky, who want to bridge himself clear of Aldori and get ahead in front of him this time. And he does not on this occasion. Sarge doesn't quite go up the order. But the 57 of Fireblade, can he improve on his earlier attempts? He can, but only by a little bit. Remains in P19. Aldori goes up to 6th now, ahead of Moritz and Makovsky. Going on to the 3rd row of the grid. Freeman up to 10th. Smallhand coming through the last turn now. He'll get over the line for 1 more attempt. It's an improvement from before, though. It's not. Van der Waal on improve either. 46 of Bruno Canavero crossing over the line. Moggs goes up to P10. So the reserve driver for this evening, showing some quality pace in that number 20 Ferrari. Moggs is coming through. He's behind for Bizzle, but he's about to complete his lap. And he goes up to P3. Excellent effort there from Morex. Now he's stuck behind Papizzle, I think, so I think he's going to struggle to improve from there. But P3 is a great effort from Mauro Arsenio. Milden crossing over the grass at the chase. Trying to get himself a gap so that he's not getting in anyone's way or catching up to anyone. Last attempt. 30 seconds to go. He'll get over the line in time before the checker flag falls. So Sean Cole, can he improve on his time from earlier on? Yes, he can. He's 2 tenths clear. A 2-minute 1.7 for the championship leader. For the number 22 of Hutchison, who stays in P15. So the number 15 of Ahmed Al-Dora will be the first driver over the line after the checker flag has fallen. There it is. And Al-Dora improved from P7. Second in the championship, and with Sean Cole and pole, he needs to really get on the front row. If he can, but he can't do it because he's hit the wall at Murray's, and that is his qualifying session done. So P7 or lower is where he'll end up. Bruno Canavero is not going to complete his last attempt. He's out of fuel, I think, or he at least made a mistake on his final attempt. Smallhand is about to complete his last attempt, although he's out-braked himself going into Murray's, and he's lost time. 34 of Papizzle. His final attempt. It's looking very good for Sean Cole. On track still at the moment as Papizzle runs wide, exiting the chase. Goes back into the pits. Number 14 of Nils Van Lyck coming through. In the car on the entry to the last turn. Second is the gap between him and the pole sitter, and he's able to get that down to 3/4 of a second, and he goes up to 9th place. Now Sean Cole looks to have assured himself pole position, because I've already mentioned there's no points for it. Goes into the pits and he abandons the lap. Stuart Hodgson is the last one. He is also heading for the pits. So at the end of that, it is Sean Cole who takes pole position here at Mount Panorama, with Ben Milden a solid second. Morris is third, ahead of Bruno Canavero in 4th place. It's Nikola Busov and Melvin Kroes, Will Freeman, Ahmed Al-Duri, Nils Van Lyck and Kamil Mikowski running out the top 10. Moggs and Smallhand are 11th and 12th, followed by Damien van der Waal and Valkor Papizzle in 13th and 14th positions respectively. Then it's Stuart Hutchison and Lewis Robertson, 2 of the admins, in 15th and 16th places. Icedude and Jason Sargent are on the 9th row. Andy Craven and Fireblade on row 10. Karen Blair and Adam Anderson are on the 11th row, with Paul Trotman rounding off the grid. Anderson and Trotman did not set lap times, so they'll be starting from the back. That was qualifying, and now we go on to the race itself. I will remind you, it is a 90-minute special, so different to the conventional 60 minutes that we would usually have. 2 mandatory pit stops are included. Race start time 5 PM. The time elapsed will be multiplied by 2, so we should be done by after 8 PM at the circuit. While watching this live, we should be done by round about 10:30 PM British summer time. A lot of motorsport lined up this weekend. Of course, there's a lot of Formula Racing League action. Find all the different championships in the YouTube description. Feel free to check those out. All the results are logged on the SimGrid website. Follow League on Facebook and Instagram. There's the Discord link to go with it. In terms of the action we've got in real life coming up this week, there is the Monaco Grand Prix, of course. Formula 2 and Formula 3 and the Porsche Supercup will be racing there. Also racing this weekend is Italian Formula 4 and the Euro Cup 3 Championship. They are racing at Spa, I believe. They're not racing at Spa, my apologies. Euro Cup 3 raced at Spa earlier this month. Racing at Motorland Aragon, Spain is the Euro Cup 3 series. Italian Formula 4 are racing at Spa this weekend. See Sean Cole 7 places clear of his nearest championship rival, Aldori. Ben Milden will be fancying his chances of clawing his way up the order. 16 points for the season, and from what I've been told, actually, he has changed machines. Says AMG. I can't remember what he was in previously, but that explains why he's on that amount of points. Rossi, Blakely Townsend are another examples. Cameron Blair the same. So 90 seconds to go before the formation lap begins. Be another 5 minutes or so from when the formation lap begins before we go green flag racing. It's a rolling start. 3 cars on the grid. Far away, when the cars are away off the grid, we'll run down who is lining up where. Don't see any drivers at the moment starting this race from the pit lane. They may decide to avoid any first lap mayhem. Quite far back from the leaders side, although Jason Sargent has just decided that he does not want to start from the grid. He'll want to start from the pit lane. Paul Trotman is doing the same, so their 18th and 23rd places will be pit lane starts. So run down on the grid. Sean Cole is on pole position with Ben Milden alongside him at the head of the field. Then we've got Mario Senio and Bruno Canavera on row 2, followed by Nicola Busov and Melvin Kroes on row 3. Then we've got Will Freeman and Ahmed Aldori in 7th and 8th, Nils Van Lyck and Kamil Mikovsky rounding out the top 10. We've got Monks and Smallhand in on row 6, followed by Damien van der Wal and Farclub Papizel. Stuart Hutchinson and Lewis Robinson are on row 8. followed by Ice Dude, Andy Craven. So Jason Sargent would be 18th, but Andy Craven, Fireblade, Cameron Blair, and Adam Anderson will all move up a place. Paul Trotman is not currently in the server at the moment, but I would say he will be back in by the time this race does start. Hopefully he's not suffering any connection issues as we speak. Let us know who your money is on for victory. Mike coming in saying Nils for the win. Line up in 9th position. Can he be surprised? Maybe get a podium out of this one. His best result so far this season has been a 7th place finish at Suzuka. Last week he was 10th at Silverstone. See, they're all going through McFinley Park. I'm hoping that it'll be a clean start to the race. Don't be surprised if we do see damaged machines before the first lap is done. Seen numerous accidents during the course of the season so far. Not too much at Silverstone. Definitely at Snetterton, especially at the start. Saw multiple drivers involved. It wasn't just one collision, there was multiple collisions going on throughout the pack. Sean Cole. Back up will be Sealand going to their rows of 2. Sargent waiting patiently in the pits, raring to go. Do from a pit lane start. Ready to go for round 6 of the Taco Tuesday series in the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. 1 point separating the top 2. Sean Cole in the lead. Ahmed Al-Dori, who's starting in 8th, is in P2 overall. Keep an eye out also on Melvin Kroes, Mauro Arsenio and Nicola Busov, and maybe even Bruno Canavera, 6th place in the standings. 42 points off the top. Starts the race from 4th. He could well be in the frame to win this race. Who knows what can happen here in Bathurst. Anything can happen. They're coming out of Murray's now. We are waiting for the start of the race. Who will lead into turn 1 first? Will it be Sean Cole or will it be Ben Milden? The green flag is waved and the drivers are off. Cole will have the inside line going into Hell's Corner. Ben Milden sits at Albie. Needs to watch for Morix, who's on the inside. Milden runs wide. He'll get into the slipstream of the Mercedes AMG ahead. But it seems to be a clean start from everyone, so no contact made, and it's Sean Cole who stays in the lead. Then we've got Ben Milden in 2nd place, Morix and Bruno Canavera going side by side as they come up towards Griffin's Bend, and Cole stays in the lead. Canavera round the outside of Morix as they come out of the right-hander, and it seems to be that Morix is still in front. MGK has got in front of Nicola Busov too as well, so we're all getting through the undulating parts of the racetrack, continuing the way uphill. No problems so far. Going through McFinley Park. Pit window is open. 2 mandatory stops are to be done. Changing tyres are necessary. Now they're going through the S's. And they've just gone through the dipper. Now This is Forest Elbow that they're coming out of. And we are seeing Cole under threat from Ben Milden. He'll get into the slipstream on the Conrod Straight. Are we going to see a change of lead at this stage of the race? It's quite possible. Cole knows that he needs to take it very easy here. Ben Milden go for it on the Conrod Straight. Side by side they go as they head towards the chase. And I think Milden's through. He has done. Milden through before the fast left and right handers. So Ben Milden takes the lead here in Bathurst. Sean Cole had seen it coming and it's pretty effective. In fact, Milden decides that he's going to go for the pits straight away to get one of his pit stops done and out of the way. Now, wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a few others doing the same in the opening few laps. So Sean Cole leads at the end of lap 1, Morix second, Bruno Canavero is third, MGK fourth, Ahmed Al-Dori is in fifth position. And it's Nikola Busov in sixth place. Just looking to see whether we are seeing a few more overtakes at the moment. Doesn't seem to be. Andy Craven's in the pits as well. Adam Munson and Cameron Blair doing the same. So 4 drivers in the pits at the end of lap 1. Seen almost a move there. We've just seen MGK looking to the outside of Canavera as they come up towards the sharp left end. Oh, and Cole's run wide. I think he's hit the barrier, and that has allowed Morix in front. Bruno Canavera has taken advantage of the open door to get through. He's up into P2 now. Cole down to third place. That was a bad mistake there by Cole. Only on the second lap of the race through the cutting, and he's. I don't know if he actually hit the wall. He certainly went very wide into that. But I think he just about got away with it. But he's lost ground. So Canavera right to the slipstream of Morix in front. We could see another change for the lead. This is only the second lap. I think Morix is too far ahead to need to defend. Canavera knows the slipstream effect here in Bathurst. Is he going to go for it into the chase? Goes on the inside, almost there. And Morix saw it come in and holds the position for now. In terms of number of laps, I'd probably say we're looking at around 43 at most. Because there's the pit stops to take into consideration. Coming through Hell's Corner again. So, Navarro getting a nice exit. He's probably too far back still to make a challenge. Just needs to go for it at this stage yet. It is very early days, but he'll want to be at the head of the pack. Goes look on the inside again. Rex stays in front for now. Cole in third place ahead of MGK. Dory fifth. Busov sixth. Unlike Freeman, McCossie and Smallhand rounding out the top 10 at this stage. It's Robinson in the pits. That releases Ben Milden. He'll go up another position. I can tell you, Ben Milden in the number 5 Mercedes AMGs just in front of Jason Sargent, who started the race from the pit lane. So Milden shouldn't need to worry about him at the present moment. I think he got through ahead of him on track, which is a very interesting one there for Milden. So he's clearly going very well at a blistering pace. Making the most of the track position. As we watch the battle for the lead again, as Bruno gets into the slipstream. I think he's closer this time to what it was last time around. He'll go to the outside. Morix, I don't think, will fight it off too much. And Bruno Canavera takes the lead here at Bathurst before the third lap is completed. See the slipstream effect so drastic. It's a very, very effective slipstream effect. I mean, if Formula 1 were racing here, they wouldn't need DRS necessarily. one round again. And I don't think Paul Trotman's has come back in time, so I think that's his race all but done, unfortunately. Which is a terrible shame. Just looking to see what happened to him. And here we go. I found out news as to why Trotman is not able to take the start. His brake pedal has broken in half. It's a terrible shame for him. Hopefully he'll come back strong in the next week. 22 running in this race. Van Lyck is ahead of Freeman in 6th position. Smallhand is in front of Moggs as well. Oh, he's hit the barrier! Has Smallhand. That's a very heavy impact. He'll struggle with the handling. He needs to be very careful through the dipper. Just went a little too quick there, and yeah, he's struggling big time. That'll be him into the pits at the end of this lap. At least he can get one of his mandatory stops done now. That's not ideal at this stage. And have we got a battle going on at the moment? Well, we can see Freeman trying to line up a move on Van Lyck for 6th position, but he's not able to get through right this second. Hutchison in P12. Milden is able to avoid. Oh, there's a spin in front, and that's Demian van der Waal who's had a moment. And the 152 of Blair is in the pits, and it looks to be like his race is done. And Robinson is in the pits again. I think this is a mandatory stop, you know. Pretty sure this is a mandatory stop, unless I'm mistaken. Or has he had a problem on circuit? I don't really know. Just going to have a look back on the stream. Find out what happened to Robinson. I'm struggling to see because of the video quality on the YouTube stream, so I'm not able to find out what happened to Lewis. It's Canavera who's still in the lead for now. Smallhand in the pits for repairs. Get one of his mandatory stops done now. Saves him having to do a 3rd stop later on. See Freeman right in the wheel tracks there of the number 14 BMW of Nils van Lyck, the Dutchman. So that Cameron Blair's race may be run. Bruno Canavera continuing to stretch out the margin. Definitely more than the second, I can guarantee you that. Freeman running in P7 behind Van Lyck as they are on the Conrod straight. Ben Milden's up to 15th position now. He's right on the tail of Mark Bagnall, otherwise known as Fireblade. Tell you that Lewis Robinson has yet to rejoin the racetrack, so I wonder if he's crashed. Has the Brit, and that could well be his race over. Here he goes. Can Milden get through? He can do. Fireblade doesn't fight it. He knows he's not battling with him in this race. Doesn't waste any time. Up to 14th he goes. At the front, Canavera continuing to stretch the margin. Can he claim back-to-back wins? Definitely put him in the championship frame, albeit only closed down the gap ever so slightly, but he's got the fastest lap of the race, which would give him an extra couple of points. Every race is different, every driver has their own preference of track. So far, so good for Bruno Canavera, but there's a long way to go yet in this race. So yeah, the battle for 6th is hotting up because Freeman's right on the tail there of Nils van Leijk, but I think he's still too far back to have a go. Let's have a look at Mikowski. How is he getting on? Well, he's fending off Moggs, who's had a decent race so far. Has kept his Ferrari out of trouble. Running strong there in P9. Ben Milden, I can tell you, he's not too far back from Van der Waal. He's less than 7 seconds behind, but at least he's got some track position and ground to make up. Now on lap 7. I wonder how much fuel Canavera had put in the car at the beginning of the race. I'd be interested to know about that, thinking of it. And it looks like the number 7 has had a spin. That is Jason Sargent, who has gone round, unfortunately, but has continued. Milden, the highest of those who have pitted. 14th place. It's Canavera coming down through the dipper. Wall there actually, so that's lost him ground, and Moritz will have closed in. So that Sean Cole is continuing to fall back. Clutches of MGK. Rory not close enough to have a go just yet. What about Will Freeman, because he's close to Nils van Leijk as they are on the Conrod straight. Get through yet as we speak. Moggs is behind Mikowski in the battle for 8th. Bizzle holding on to 10th rather nicely there from Stuart Hutchinson. Ice Dude is in P12. Tell you that Smallhand is down a few laps actually as Sean Cole makes his way into the pits. He'll fall behind Ben Milden most certainly, because Ben Milden is already coming towards the last corner now. And what about those behind that pitted earlier? Well, Busov is on the pit straight too. Cole hasn't left his box yet. So Busov has got past. And Andy Craven is too far back, I think, so he'll fall. I think Sean Cole should rejoin ahead of him. Sean Cole will rejoin behind Jason Sargent, who's yet to make a pit stop so far in this race. Gap is 7/10 between Canavera and Moritz as they go through Skyline once more. Adam Anderson has come back into the pits again. I think this is to get his second mandatory stop done already. Long way to go really on the tyres and the fuel, of which he'll need to carry through to the rest of the race. He's going to have to get out of the way of the leaders who will be lapping him. Round the last corner, the top two come through. Okay, running in P3 now because Will Freeman... Oh, I'm looking through the order at the moment. Oh, that's because Busov... Oh no, not Busov, sorry. Sean Cull had pitted earlier on. So that explains why MGK is in P3. Someone's getting ahead of myself there. But Freeman's got through on Van Lyck at last, and he's up into P5 on track. That move was bound to happen at some point. Anderson has done his stop now. But where's that put him back out? Well, he's yet to leave his box. Milden continuing to close the gap on Van der Waal. Get to stop in this race, but Milden will just be happy to close down the gap for now. Close enough to him when he's ready to pounce. That Anderson still hasn't left his box. So 18 minutes into this race, they're looking not comfortable, but controlling the pace is probably the appropriate term. So there's a gaggle of cars coming through, and that's Hutchison, who's running in P10, and Icedo has just lost the position to Van der Waal, and Milden's got through as well. So Milden passed the Audi. He's moved himself up into 12th place now, and on the tail of Van der Waal ahead. Going to go up the inside, I think, into the chase. Van der Waal decides not to fight it. So, Mercedes AMG gets through. Milden on a charge, and Van der Waal takes the opportunity to make his way into the pits. Milden carries on to set the pace, put himself in the frame for victory, going very nicely on the set of tyres that he is on. Hutchison running wide there, nearly got my words mixed up there. Milden is continuing to threaten the BMW in front. Don't think Hutchison will fight it out too much. Milden will go to the inside. Hutchison decides, no, you're not getting through there. I'd rather just keep hold of the position for now and make you lose more time. They are fighting for position after all, so it's not like Hutchison has to get out of the way of Ben. Fight it out all he wants as long as he keeps it clean. Say that Andy Craven's come in for his second mandatory stop, so he'll be going to the end. Down the back straight, Hutchison and Milden. I think Milden's going to make a similar overtake to what he did on Van der Waal earlier on. Well, he's just had to lift off the throttle a little bit before they went through the kink. He's up the inside, and Milden goes through into 10th place. Next man ahead of him is Varklub Vizel, who is another 10 seconds up the road from him. Seems to be enjoying it out there, is Ben. Running in 4th position. And it looks like Morix has taken the lead from Bruno Caravero, I just realised. And he's done that through the first sector of this lap. Didn't see the overtake, but Morix is through. See Bruno struggling a little bit I would have thought he ran wide through the first turn, and he's lost ground horribly. Was there a yellow flag for a moment there? I thought there was a yellow flag through there, but seemingly not. Four drivers out of this race. Oh, and Canavera got out of shape coming through the dipper there, and he had to collect it. Just needs to get back into a rhythm, really. Start catching up to the sister Audi of Mauro Senio ahead. Sarge is into the pits for his first stop of the race. Gap between Pavizzle and Milden, 9.4 seconds. Sector 1. Gap come down on this lap, I would have thought. It's 9 seconds. So it's a gradual decrease. See Canavera running wide there through turn 1. His tyres are starting to go away because he's been pushing so hard. Busov's ahead of Hutchison now. He's got through into P11. Mog's running in P7. Oh, and Busov spun! He's collected the wall as well. And he's going to have to do a whole lap with that damage, is Busov. That's a terrible mistake. Just caught it as he went through Murray's. Oh, he's struggling. He's struggling to get the car through the first turn. Well, at least he's got a mandatory stop to do, but this is not the convenient time, really, to be taking it. He's going to really struggle on this lap, for sure. That's a bad dent to Busov's championship hopes, too, as well. Sean Cole will get past very quickly, I would have thought. Seems to be handling... Well, it's not definitely not perfect, is it? Oh, you can see he's nearly clipping the wall. As he goes through the sweeping bends. Yeah, you can see the car is just... It's not quite turning in as sweetly as it would normally would be. Dipper. Sean should get through very quickly, I would have thought. So the Hudson Fireblade are in the pits. Just waiting to hear from Adam Anderson to find out what exactly happened to him. I think it may well be because he's had a coming together with Cameron Blair. And that might be something for later. Paul gets through on Busov, who heads for the pits, and he's lost a lot of time. Go for the battle for fourth. Aldori in the Mercedes AMG, Freeman in the McLaren. They head up the hill. Holden's got the gap down between him and Pavizzle. The gap is around about 6 seconds, I think. Yeah, 6 seconds it is. I'd probably say Milden's the favourite to win this race, given the pace he is showing. But anything can happen. It really can depend on how quick the pit stops are done. And it's about keeping your car out of trouble, keeping the car out of the walls, not making any silly mistakes. Passing slower cars. The gap has come down to 0.6 of a second between the top two. Canavera is coming back into his zone now. Now, who will be the first to pit out of these two? Well, Morris is struggling on this lap, so I wonder if he may decide to go for the pits at the end of this one. Neither of them do. Carry on for now, but we are approaching the third waypoint of this race. We should start to see more pit stops from the leaders. To go through Hell's Corner, there is Nikola Busov coming out of the pit, so he may well become a Ricardo Zonta in the moment. Leaders are on the mountain straight. We're right on board with Canavera as they go up and then down. Canavera goes for it. Arsenio isn't going to be deterred by that. Let's hold a bit for now. So 3 drivers, well technically 4, because we lost Paul Trotman before the race had begun. Cameron Blair, Lewis Robinson and Adam Anderson are also not running. Ice Dude running in 19th position, last of the runners, but has made both of his mandatory pit stops already. Sorry, still in front of Freeman in the battle for 4th place. I can see that Moggs is in front of Kamil Makowski in the fight for 7th. Now we go back on board with the number 46 Audi chasing the number 99 Audi. How will this end? Canavera goes to the outside. Morix just simply cannot defend it. The effect of the slipstream is too much, and Canavera is through before they get to the chase. Excellent overtake there from Canavera, and he's gone through and into the race lead again. Busov has done both of his stops now. He's running in P13, so it's not all doom and gloom for him. He will have to obey the blue flags because the leaders are coming up behind him, and so he gets out of the way now. Morris is going to try and get his own back on Canavera. This is brilliant racing between these two, leaving each other respect, leaving each other space. Busov, all he can do is just keep up with them and not lose too much time. He is on the fresher tyres than these lots, so come into his court later on. He could even unlap himself if he wanted to, but he'll have to keep it clean. But Vissel is in the pits. That will release Ben Milden, no problem. Milden is only 3.4 behind Kamil Makowski. Gap is considering to come down, 2.7 seconds it is. Down the Conrod straight they come again. Senio to make a move, get back the lead once more. You can see Freeman coming up behind Aldori in the battle for 4th position. Down the hill they come. Ahead of them is the number 23 of MGK in 3rd. Now, will either of these two head for the pits at the end of this lap? We'll see. So, on this occasion. Looks like Milden is he in front of Makowski now? No, he's not yet. But Makowski has run wide through the chase. That should give Milden the position. And Makowski, I think, knows that he may as well accept defeat because Milden's on the better tyres. Struggled to get the car turned into the chase. I'm not sure whether he's suffering brake issues or something. Milden is through, but he's got Sean Cole closing him down as well. So Sean Cole actually is only going through the last corner. I was looking at the wrong car. Oh, and Morris clipped the wall there as he was going through Funnery Park. He's got away with it, but that could have been much worse. Two coming through for his elbow. Morris, I think that clip of the barrier may prompt him to go into the pits and get the repairs done, because otherwise the handling of his machine is going to cost him time. This dude has shown us 2 laps down on the leaders. Done both of his stops. I think MGK might be going into the pits at the end of this lap. If I'm mistaken. It's not quite so. Sonio nearly losing it on the exit of turn 1. He gets away with it. Milden's 12 seconds behind Moggs in the fight for 7th place. We won't need to worry about fighting with him, because I think Moggs will be pissing in soon. But all Milden needs to do is just carry on with the pace he has set him. There's Morris. Brown on Bruno, so he just needs to focus more on his own driving. He will be pitting soon, I would have thought, unless they're on different strategies. I'm sure they'll be aware that Milden is very much picking up the pace, and I will tell you that he is going through. I'm trying to remember the corner names of the circuit. He's gone through Quarry Corner, coming towards Funnery Park now, and the leaders are on the Conrod Straight. Pace that they're going, Ben Milden will be taking the lead. Half seconds is the margin. Moggs right on the tail of Nils. Milden is 11 seconds off. Morris is now 2 seconds. Oh, and Morris has run wide. Has he got a problem? Or did he just go in too deep into the house corner? I think it's the latter, but that mistake won't sit well with him, as Moggs comes into the pits for his first stop of the race. So that releases Milden. Dory 4th, Freeman in 5th. Kofsky coming in for his first stop of the race from 9th place. At least Sean Cole. Come through Montgomery Park. About to anyway. Freeman right in the gearbox. Up to the gearbox of Aldori. This has been his best race this season so far. Aldori to fend off Morris's gap between him and Bruno. It was 2.6 seconds in sector 1, it's now 3 seconds. Watching 3 minutes, he gets up close to Aldori as they through the Conrod straight once again. Chase is not going to be anywhere near close enough to make a last gasp attempt. Very silly of him to even try that. No sign of the leaders pitting just yet. Lap 19 here. Oh, and that's the mistake there from Aldori. He's clipped the wall, and that hands the position over to Freeman. Went in too deep into the cutting, and that's cost him dear. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the car is performing somewhat different to what it was before he clouted the wall. Okay, he's losing ground to Freeman. Lap 19 of the race, Bruno's lead is 3.4 seconds. Seems to be increasing by the second. .2 seconds is the gap now, so Morris really is struggling, and I think Aldori's going to the pits, and it's no surprise after that clout with the wall. Milden will go through. It's like Andy's back in the pits. Hasn't he already made his mandatory pit stops before he came in? Having a look, I think he already made his mandatory pit stop, so I wonder if he's had an incident somewhere. Yeah, this is his third stop of the race, so it's not ideal. That's the risky nature of doing your mandatory pit stops now, because if you're going to do it, you better make sure you don't car in the wall between then and the rest of the race, really. All going up into P7 now. Just heading through also. Aldori's done his stop. Looks like Aldori should rejoin, no problem. He's in 10th place now. Vanderwall in P12. Busov in P13. He'll move ahead of Vanderwall because Vanderwall's in for his final stop. Halfway through this one. Busov's dropped back because he's had to let MGK through, and now he's got Will Freeman behind him, which he'll have to let through in a second. Having said that, the top, well, I say the top 5, the top 4 have yet to pit. Hills Van Light comes in. Vanderwall is the highest of all those that have done their mandatory stops, so he can go to the end. So far so good from Bruno. You know where he might end up, or where his rivals might end up. The positions as they are, it's too complicated to sort of say what the points will be, because drivers have done more pit stops than others. Looks like Andy's not come back onto the circuit again, so I think that could well be his race done. And it looks like he's going to the pits now at the end of lap 21, 43 minutes into the race. Marks will take over the lead. MGK will go into second place. It's Will Freeman deciding to, I think, he's heading for the pits this lap. No, he's not. Well, he thought about it, but he decided to carry on for another lap. And it looks like there's an incident because the number 14's gone round. And it's Nils who's just done a pit stop. He's had a spin at the dipper. He's continued on his way. Yeah, he's lost time. Fox has got ahead of him now. Farcliffe Pistol is close behind. Yeah, that's lost Nils a lot of time. Milden into 4th place on track. And I think Sean Cull is not going to get ahead of Bruno on this occasion. He's exiting the pits now. And he's going to rejoin well ahead of him, I think. He's quite a bit ahead. So Bruno has completed the overcut on Sean Cull. And he's put himself definitely within the frame to win this race now. Hardly any battles going on at the moment. Now what is Moritz going to do? Got the clear track ahead of him. Does he want to make the most of it and stretch out the first stint as far as possible? Seconds clear of MGK. Moritz is going to the pits at the end of this lap. MGK decides to do. Is he going to do the same? Yes, you know, I think. He thought about it for a second whether he was actually going to head for the pit lane. So it's going to give Will Freeman the chance to lead a race. Comes through. It's Nikola Busov behind him, in case you're wondering, who's a lap down. Ben Milden will go through ahead of Moritz and MGK. He will make his way through also, unless Moritz can put in the best of pit stops. Bruno's through, and I think Sean Cole will get through also. Moritz and MGK haven't left their boxes yet. Moritz has done, but it's too late. I think because of the repair work needing to be done, that's the reason why he's lost more time than he would have expected. MGK, I think, close the gap on him. Morris gets out just in front of Moggs. So Moggs will be on the better tyres at this stage. I think it's going to take a few corners or so for Morris's tyres to get up into the optimal window. Now, will Moggs go for it on this lap? Not 100% sure he will do. So once Freeman pits, if Freeman does pit in now, that will hand the lead over to Ben Milden. He's well clear of everyone actually, is Milden. Well clear. He's still got another pit stop to do, but that second stint has played into his hands massively. He's not had to lose time too much behind other cars who hadn't pitted. Put him well within his court to come out as the convincing race winner here in Bathurst. Freeman's in the pits now, so that hands the lead over to the Brit, Ben Milden, in the number 5 Mercedes AMG. Over 21 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Canavera will go through to second place. Should be Sean Cull moving up to P3. Freeman's done his stop now. He's just leaving his box. There's Morex, there is Moggs. I think Morex, Will Freeman will get in front of the pair of them. Through turn 1, there's Freeman on the left there. Is Morex going to get in front? I think he will do just. Unless Freeman can get up to speed straight away. But Morex has just got his nose in front for the time being. They're still going side by side, but Morex is more than a car's length ahead. And so he is ahead. And yeah, that pit stop for Morex has cost him dear because of the clout with the wall he had during the first stint. That's cost him time and a few positions. So I think the undercut that Milden's managed to perform and everyone else has played into his hands incredibly. So Freeman's pit stop has allowed Nikola Busov to be back on the lead lap now. And the good news for him is that he's done all of his mandatory pit stops and everyone in front of him has still yet to make their second stops. And that is that Freeman overshooting the chicane there. I think that might well have been. He's got to be careful doing that, as track limits will catch up with him if he continues cutting corners like that. "24 laps completed." Milden's lead has come back down a little bit though. 19 seconds it was in the last sector. Bruno in the number 46 is just crossing over the line now. I think it's stuck behind a back marker actually. But it's 19.5 seconds. Ahead of him is Smallhand, who is having another off day really. Skirmished with the wall earlier on, but at least he's kept going. Canavera gets past and doesn't intervene. And Moggs comes in for... Oh no, it's Freeman who's come in. It doesn't look like he's had damage. I think this is a strategic plan from the McLaren. So Freeman going for a different strategy to what the others had done. Get his mandatory stops done around about the halfway point of the race. So the Nikola Busov is coming through Forest Elbow, so we'll see for sure. And in fact, Freeman's done his stop already. So Will Freeman not hanging around. He's back on circuit now. Where's that put him? That is put him behind MGK. It's put him behind Nils. And he's behind for Bizzle. He'll be behind Aldori as well. Yeah, he's down in 7th place, but at least he's done his mandatory stops now. He's well clear of Busov. He's only just going through the chase actually. So Will Freeman has put himself all of a sudden within the frame of getting a podium out of this. Got some clear track ahead of him, so if he can make the most of it, that's an added bonus. Air and track temperature coming down to 17 degrees here in Bathurst. 38 minutes still to go. I'll tell you that in terms of the time, it's coming up to 7 PM here at Mount Panorama. And Milden has come into the pits now. So Ben Milden comes in. Now he's been on those tyres for... They came in at the end of lap 1, didn't he? So he's just done lap 25. So he's done 24 laps on those tyres. Now this is a response to Will Freeman. So this is actually a very important pit stop for Milden. Vitally important he gets out ahead of the McLaren. I think he will do, but it could be close. Freeman, he's coming through. Bizzle is in the pits, in the Audi. Milden's not left his box yet, he's about to now though. Freeman is on the pit straight. But I think Milden has this one covered. So Milden rejoins in front of Will Freeman. Not far in front, but crucially in front. Should be favourite to win this race now. Freeman just needs to keep up with him, and second place could well be his. This race should well be finished at round about... It'll be after 8 PM track time because it is multiplied by 2 in terms of how the time elapses. I think Andy Craven's back on circuit, but he's a long way down in terms of the laps. That hands the lead to Bruno Canavera. But I suppose if he can go far enough, maybe with like 10 to 15 minutes to go, he can come in, get the tyres changed and get the stop done a lot quicker. What most of the others have done, and rejoin in the lead effectively. Moggs is in front of MGK now as well. So MGK is having a tough second stint. And you can see, look at the markings on his car also. So he's lost ground. Morix is 15 seconds behind Sean Cull in third place. I think by the time he's done his final stop, he'll be behind Milden and Freeman. .34 minutes remaining here in Mount Panorama. Ben Milden and Will Freeman have done their mandatory stops. Those two are definitely on course for podiums. It's just dependent on how quick the top two, particularly on track, can get their pit stops done for when they come in. Ball actually, as he went by what looks like Stuart Hutchinson, of which he was lapping. Stuart just running in 15th position. He's still got one more stop to do. And Sean Cull is in the pits. Now, where will he come out in relation to Ben Milden and Will Freeman? Those two are 3.4 seconds apart from each other. So if Cool can leave the box by the time Milden comes around the last corner, that could get him ahead of the Mercedes AMG and the McLaren. No, Milden's coming through. I think it's too late for Sean Cool. Rejoin behind him, and he's going to rejoin behind Will Freeman, definitely also. Not good news for him. He's going to salvage anything positive from this one. He'll have to do it on the track. Left his box now, but he's quite some way behind Will Freeman. Bruno Canavera still holds the fastest up of the race. Seconds is the margin between Bruno and Morex. Now, what will Bruno decide to do in response to Sean Cool? Will he cover that off by pitting in this lap, or will he decide to go longer? Oh, and that's Bruno running wide through turn 1. That won't help his cause. I'll tell you that I've seen, is that a change of position, or is that Nils dropping down the order? I think he's in the pits, it's Nils. I think he's made a mistake on this lap, and he looks to be out. The number 16 is also had an excursion on track, and I think he might have come together with him. So Nils Van Lyck seems to be out of the race after being in the top 10 for most of it. That'll be something for later on, maybe, unless I'm mistaken, which I could well be. Milden's 4 seconds behind Aldori, who's still yet to make his last trip to the pits. Half an hour to go here in Bathurst, Australia. Looking very good for Ben Milden at the moment, unless Bruno can make the best of pit stops for when he comes in. Moggs has had a positive race so far as well. Very, very strong in the Ferrari. But MGK is responding, and he's closing back in again. This is the gap going through sector 2. Don't know whether Craven's rejoined the track. I don't think he has done at the moment, so that could well be his race done. But I want to watch Melvin Crows make a move on Moggs, and Moggs lets him go. Hardly fended that one off. See the shade. mountainous section as they go through the cutting. Ice Dude, who will move up a position at the expense of Nils van Lyck. A long way back though is Ice Dude, but at least and Hutchison still have a pit stop to do. This will do the top 5. Top 5 come in for their last stops, at least that will put Ice Dude back on the lead lap somewhat. Still out in the lead. Mark's in P2. MGK 3rd. Moggs now 4th. I think Milden's got in front of Eldori now, because Eldori's behind the Mercedes AMG. Doesn't look like he's picked up damage. I think he just let him through rather easily after a small error. Milden at the moment looking at the gap. Now he's got past the Mercedes AMG. So I think you're talking around 45 seconds off the lead at the moment. Oh, and Eldori running wide there. It's caused by any means. You're looking around 47 seconds between Milden in 5th and Bruno Canavera in the lead. Drivers still running in this race. Don't think Nils van Lyck has rejoined the circuit, unfortunately, so he could well be out of the race. Five minutes remaining, so we've got around about 12 laps to go. No, Morex, MGK, Moggs and Eldori are still yet to make their last stops. Ben Milden he might go into the lead, but he needs to continue setting the pace as he's doing. 3 years between him and Bruno, who I think will make a shorter pit stop to what Milden had done earlier on. Be aware of the situation. Not too much battling going on at the moment. I think all the drivers will be thinking more about just getting to the flag without any more dramas. Eldori comes in from 6th place now. Go through, Wolfram has already gone past. Farclough for Fizzle. Don't think we'll get in front because I think Eldori will complete a fast enough pit stop by the time Fizzle gets round to the last turn. Has done his stop now as he leaves his box. Has he done enough to stay in front of Bizzle though? Close, but I think Bizzle's going to get his nose in front here. Bizzle through now, and Eldori has ended up behind him. Got got the back marker of Fireblade in front though, who will have to get out of the way of these two. We cannot hold them up. He knows that those two are fighting for position and he's not, so he's done the right thing. Busov is running in 10th position behind Babizzle. Smallhand comes in for his last stop as well. One of the top four going to be heading for the pits. Is just going through the right-hander heading uphill. Quarry corner, that is. But had gone through. Bruno is continuing to blow a margin over the others. Done his stop now. He'll rejoin behind Hutchinson, I would have thought. Go ahead, although Hutchinson's got one more trip to the pits that he has to do. .74 in front, that's Cameron McCofsey, so the top 11 are all on the lead lap. Change in a moment because thought about going into the pits. This is gap over MGK. Find out time now what the gap is. It's over 10 seconds, I think. It's 13.3. Melden running in 5th position. Seconds, also 20 minutes go in this one, or just over that. Not too long to go left in this race, but there's still some significant pit stops needing to be done involving the leaders. We don't know as of when they're going to be pitting. They do have to make them at some stage. I think Bruno, with the lead that he has and the potential length of the pit stop that he's about to do, will be quick enough to get him back out in the race lead. Sean Cole, who's 16 seconds behind Ben Milden. So got in front of Will Freeman now into P6. Which could well be either 3rd or 4th, I would have thought. Depends on how the pit stops play out. After this event we go to Nürburgring, Misano, Zandvoort and Kyalami for the season finale. This is the second of the 3 90-minute specials. The last one will be in Kyalami. The other rounds will be the conventional 60-minute races with a mandatory pit stop included in each of them. Box trailing from the Audi. Barrow just taking it easy at the moment. Just thinking that he's got some back markers that he's coming up to, going through the S's. Maybe as soon as he catches up to them, that's probably the point where he needs to come in for the pits to avoid being stuck in traffic. Sargent is the next back marker ahead, who's running in 16th position. Very, very good for Bruno. Back-to-back wins could well be on the cards. Looks like Aldori's right on the tail of Babizil. Has he got the move done on him yet? He has done. So he's through into 8th place as Aldori. He must have done it into Hell's Corner. Busov is not too far behind the Audi as they go through Griffin's Bend. They're nearly a lap down on the leader, actually. It's Bruno Canavera on lap 36. Say Canavera's got another lap or so too before he does actually catch up to the back markers that he's approaching. Ben Milden's just over 6 seconds behind Moggs. Battle for 4th, although that is not his battle right now. The battle is very much with Bruno Canavera. Now I wonder whether Canavera may duck into the pits at the end of this lap. Head for the pits this lap. Not going to do so. He's staying out for another tour of the circuit. Morris is 22 seconds behind him. His final set of tyres are not favouring him. GK, who's further back, is nearly 15 seconds off him, so I don't think Morris is going to be in a battle with him anytime soon. Hutchinson's right on the tail of Smallhand as they go into combat at the same time. Although I think Hutchinson may or no, they're 3 tenths behind going through the second sector, but Hutchinson has dropped back from him. I will tell you that Sean Cole has posted the fastest lap of the race. If you want to know what that time is, quite see what the it's not quite telling me what the lap time actually is. Bit of a shame, but it's purple, so at least I know that's how I can tell the fastest lap is there. Wills Van Lyck has not rejoined the circuit. Canavera coming up to more back markers. Fireblade stays out of the way. Canavera stayed out yet another lap. We are at dusk. Light continuing to fade, but there will be enough daylight for when the checkered light does come out. There's an incident involving car 16 at the S's, and that's Andy Craven, who's just been out of the pits, had an incident at the S's, and he's gone back in again. So if I was him, I'd probably stay in the pits because he's been involved in a few fights with the wall today. Moggs has come in from 4th position now. We're hoping for a quick turnaround. Should rejoin. Will Freeman, I think, will go past him. They might not do, because Will Freeman's only coming towards the chase. And I think Moggs will complete his stop before he comes even close. Yep, he's done his stop. He'll get out in front of the McLaren. Moggs will rejoin in 6th place. When will Canavera decide to head for the pits? This is a really important part of the race. And is he heading for the pits this lap? No, he's not. I wonder whether maybe Morris is going to head for the pits this lap, because Ben Milden isn't too far back. He's on the Conrod straight now. There's no way he's going to get out in front of him. Getting in front of Sean Cole is possible. Depends how quick the pit crew of his turn him around. Tyre change. At 39. 10 minutes to go. We are going to reach 43 laps. I think it'll be 43 or 44. My guess was 43. Canavera still has his stop to do. It's like Fireblade and Sarge are in a tussle themselves for 15th position. Should move up. They might move up another position because Stuart Hodgson's still yet to make his last trip to the pits. This is a genuine battle on track. Go on board with Fireblade and get the right on board. Chase they go. Sarge runs wide. That might give Fireblade an opportunity to close back in again. Alongside. Go back on board with McLaren. Sarge looks to fend off the position. He's done okay in this race as Sarge. He started from the pit lane. It's battling to a minimum, I suppose. Very much a battle of survival of the fittest today. As Firebird looks up the inside, cannot make the move stick. There is still out there. As the air and track temperature continues to tumble down, it's 15 degrees. Eight minutes remaining, and it's commanding drive from Bruno. Increasingly confident he's going to get out in front of Ben Milden, I think. I think that is inevitable. But if he loses the lead, and he's a second or two behind, I think he's got the grip of which he'll get back on Milden in the remaining laps. Trying to work out the gap between Bruno in the lead and Milden in 4th place. In fact, Canavera is in with 7 minutes remaining. This is the pit stop of the race. Now, how quick is this pit stop going to be? First one in the garage, actually, it seems. He's got that done within 7 seconds. That's a very quick pit stop from Bruno Canavera. And I think he's going to rejoin ahead of Ben Milden. He's going to be well ahead of him. Morix is in the pits at the same time. But Canavera is going to rejoin in the race lead. Around about 4 laps remaining here, I would think. Ben Milden is only coming through into the last corner. So it looks to be game over now for the race win. But who's going to come out in... Who's going to be in 2nd place? I think Milden's going to be in 2nd position. Because Morix has just come out of the pits now. So we've got a fight for 2nd place, it seems. Sean Cole is coming through in P4. Points for the fastest up as well, remember, so as it stands this will see him increase his margin over Armin Aldori in the championship, with Aldori back in 8th, not really challenging anyone. GK is rejoining 4th place as well, so only Stuart Hudson is the... Well, only Stuart Hudson is yet to come in for his last trip to the pits. As it stands with the championship as it is, if it was to stay like it is, as we speak, Sean Cole will be collecting 36 championship points, which will move him on to 199. Armin Aldori, who's in 8th, he would collect 26 points. That'll move him on to 188. Boven Kroos, who's in 5th position, will get 32 points for that, which will move up also onto 188. Race win, he'll be 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. Mauro Senio, who is 3rd in this one, collecting 36 championship points. He'll also move on to 188. Nikola Busov, who's running down in 10th place, will be dropping further back in the championship standings. Bruno Canavera, who's on course for victory, will move on to 161. Busov, who's running in 10th position, will get 22 points and he'll be on 162, so he'll just be in front of Canavera. All the others dropping further back in the in the points battle. So really it's between 6 drivers for the title this season with 4 rounds to go. Now we see Morix, who want to get those 2 extra points. Does that, he'll move up to 2nd place in the championship championship table. Now he is on the better tyres to what Milden is, but he's going to run out of laps maybe, as he can get to within the slipstream by the time they get onto the Conrod straight. This is the battle we want to be watching. Sean Cole, as it stands, will have an 11-point lead over Melvin Crow's Ahmed Al-Dori, Mario Arsenio. Lead is 20 seconds. You won't need to worry about keeping cars behind. 46 Audi. Lap Sarge, who's running in 16th place. The only driver that's down a lap is Ice Dude, which is just about to be lapped by Sean Cole. Bruno has just started the penultimate lap of the race. This is lap 43, he's just started, so we'll have one more lap to go at the end of this lap. It's just gone past Sarge, who's got damage to his bonnet. Go back to the battle for second place though, because intensifying even in the final couple of laps in the swamp. Not long to go now. The headlights are on for the drivers, but they won't need to keep them on for too long. The gap between Milden and Morris is 1.4 seconds, so Milden is responding to Morris's pursuit. So that Van der Waal is in front of Makowski in the fight for 11th place. They're just going through Forest Elbow. Hutchinson has done his final stop now. He's running in 14th position. Pit window is closed. Everyone's done their stops, so no need to worry about that. Bruno will be coming up to lapped Fireblade, who's going rather slowly on the circuit. And yeah, that explains why he's got damage to the bonnet. Sarge has just gone through. Oh! And he's gone through the polystyrene boards, and that's not an ideal scenario. Now, he needs to be very careful because he has got Ben Milden and Mario Arsenio coming through. If he gets in the way, he could be in trouble. Careful. Yeah, he's gone off the track. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Stay off the track, don't intervene with the action. Bruno Canavera is on his final lap now. Blade trying to get the car slowed down, he can't quite do it. Needs to get that car back to the pit lane as soon as he can. Tell you that the gap has come down a lot. Less now. Can Moritz have a go and get into the slipstream? Gaining, he's gaining. He's not going to be anywhere near close enough to have a go, I don't think. They come through the cutting. Fireblade in the pits, and I wonder if he'll come back out before the leader comes round. He's gone over the line anyway, so just wonder he'll have to come back out and make sure he gets to the checker flag, otherwise it'll count as a DNF for him. Don't think Morris is going to find a way through on Milden. I think Milden has this one covered. So they're coming down now towards Forest Elbow for the last time. Go to the leader shortly because he's about to clinch victory. I think Will Freeman's dropped back. Has he run out of fuel? Has he got a problem or something? Because he's not going very fast. I think Will Freeman's been in the wars, but we'll go back to Bruno Canavera. He's going to take victory here in Mount Panorama. He takes it. No problem whatsoever. As Will Freeman crosses over the line. I think he's run out of fuel. We'll go back to the battle between Ben Milden and Morex. Ben Milden will hold on to second place. Nice points for him, and nice points also for Mario Arsenio. I think Will Freeman's got over the line, albeit in 12th place. He lost another place on the last lap. So yeah, he's clearly short-fueled. Sean Cole extends his lead in the championship by finishing in 4th position. Got MGK, who's training a little bit of damage, it has to be said, in 5th. Top 10 will finish on the lead lap. Aldori, 7th place. Pick up a total of 28 championship points for finishing in 7th place. MGK 5th, Mogg 6th. Aldori a long way back in P7. Abyssal 8th, Busov, because of Freeman's shortage of fuel, will be 9th, picking up an extra couple of points, and Damien van der Waal will be 10th. And Stuart Hutchinson, has he got over the line yet? I don't think he has yet. Fireblade's not come back out onto the circuit, so I wonder if he will be given the points or whether it will count as a DNF for him. Behind Hutchinson will be Damien van der Waal. I think Hutchinson is running short on fuel. Whether he's just staying out of the way of van der Waal, who's just coming through. But there is your race winner. It is Bruno Canavera for the 2nd time this season. This time doing it in Mount Panorama in Bathurst. Throws himself into championship contention with that. As light continues to fade, his confidence certainly hasn't faded here. Just waiting for the results to appear on screen, and we'll run down on how today has panned out. They all come back to the pits. Brilliant victory for Bruno Canavera. He thoroughly deserved that. From 4th on the grid. First repeat winner of this campaign. So he wins out with Ben Milden in 2nd place. Mario Arsenio is 3rd. And then it's Sean Cole in 4th place, extending his lead at the top of the championship overall. Melvin Crow's 5th ahead of Moggs. And it's Ahmed Aldori in 7th. Farklop Abyssal in a respectable 8th. Nikola Busov in 9th place. He'll be disappointed with that. Damon van der Waal, the last driver on the lead lap, in 10th place. Cameron McCoskey in P11. Will Freeman ran out of fuel in the last lap but crossed over the line in 12th. Smallhand 13th, ahead of Stuart Hutchinson. Jason Sargent. Ice Dude with the last of the finishers. I don't think Fireblade is going to get the points for not crossing the checkered flag line, so he doesn't finish. Nils Van Light didn't finish either. Andy Craven, Andy Munson, Lewis Robinson and Cameron Blair also did not finish. Paul Trobin didn't start because his brake pedal had broken before the race started. So in regards to the championship, like I say, Bruno Canavera has thrown himself into championship contention with that win. Back-to-back victories is for him. That moves him on to 161 points. Nikola Busov for finishing in 9th place. He gets 24 points. He moves on to 164. Mario Arsenio for finishing in 3rd place. That's 36. So he moves on to 188. Melvin Crows for finishing in 5th. He moves on to 188. Ahmed Aldori for finishing in 7th. He moves on to 190 points. So he is in 2nd place in the championship. 9 points off the top. With Sean Cole finishing in 4th and getting the fastest lap points. The next round of the championship will be at Nürburgring, Germany. It's a return to the conventional format of 15 minutes of qualifying, 60-minute race with a mandatory pit stop included. Do make sure you tune in for then. The results and the championship standings will update in due course, so do make sure you keep it up to date on the SimGrid website on the Taco Tuesday stuff. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Do make sure you like and subscribe and check out all the other championships, and make sure you follow on their social media platforms. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.